Drew and Tristan Tate, more faith, no religion. Cut the grass low, see the snakes, better vision. Circumcision pause, cut their heads off. Loyalty, no vision of boss. Y'all gon' learn y'all lesson. Class in what's the science?
Read and take, brothers. Every time you speak real, they take something. Either your life, freedom or money, but them snakes coming. 300, yeah, we might be few, but heart off of sparring. Niggas carry sticks to make that bread. Not talking Olive Garden, darling Parton, looking like Dolly Parton. Please get the
Aliens, weird human sacrifices, black holes, and earthquakes. You might not believe us when we say that C.E.R.N's scientific legacy has nothing to do with its actual achievements. There's speculation that C.E.R.N scientists are trying to open up a portal to another dimension using the H.F.C. Scientists theorize that there are other particles we haven't discovered so far, and that's exactly where the H.F.C comes in. From a scientific perspective, Awake had no correlation to the earthquakes, but C.E.R.N's sketchy history of being secretive and silent about some of the biggest conspiracies didn't help the organization's case.
The Mandela effect is named after the iconic figure, Nelson Mandela. Here's where it gets mind-boggling. A significant number of people vividly recall Mandela dying in prison during the 80s. But in reality, Mandela was released from prison in 1990 and lived until 2013.
There aren't black holes. There's no spot where energy goes in and never comes back out. There's no place in a universe where there is an imbalance. Something gets contracted and never comes out. Aliens, weird human sacrifices, black holes, and earthquakes. You might not believe us when we say that C.E.R.N's scientific legacy has nothing to do with its actual achievements. Back in 2012, the organization shocked the scientific community by rewriting the very rules of quantum physics. Soon enough, C.E.R.N lost a major chunk of its reputation to warning signs that personalities like Terrence Howard couldn't ignore. Why is the organization so secretive about its operations? Everything boils down to science that doesn't help humanity but dooms it. Join us as we explore the evil activity happening at C.E.R.N that no one can explain. Why is C.E.R.N so unpopular for particle and quantum physicists? C.E.R.N, or the European Organization for Nuclear Research, is nothing short of a scientific wonder, thanks to its world's largest and highest energy particle collider, the H.F.C, or the Large Hadron Collider. For years, quantum scientists have grappled with questions about particles such as neutrons, dark matter, and antimatter. Between 1998 and 2008, C.E.R.N collaborated with more than 10,000 scientists, hundreds of research universities, and laboratories from at least 100 countries to bring the H.F.C to light. When the particle collider was finally operational, C.E.R.N's reputation began to take a nosedive. The H.F.C lies in a tunnel as deep as 1,275 meters or 574 feet beneath the France-Switzerland border near Geneva. While it largely exists out of human sight, it has been shockingly dubbed as the device for the Earth's demise. Believe it or not, one of the biggest scientific wonders on Earth is considered potentially catastrophic for human civilization. To be fair, C.E.R.N wasn't always this controversial. It was a scientific research facility with world-class machinery in the heart of Europe. It is the very place where the World Wide Web was developed by English computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee in 1989 and was opened to the public in 1991. Tim wanted to create a universal linked information system for scientists to stay connected. Today, we can't even imagine our lives without the little www we insert before accessing anything of use, from education to online shopping sprees. But then something about C.E.R.N changed. Their focus on atom splitting and potentially finding new particles drove them over the edge, at least in the eyes of H.F.C opponents. We will talk about why scientists are so terrified of the particle collider in a second. Before that, let us talk about why C.E.R.N has become a hub of major conspiracy theories. While a lot of the stories about C.E.R.N's sinister activities sound outrageous, they are not completely baseless. You know what they say, where there's smoke, there's a fire. The story of C.E.R.N's descent into madness comes from the H.F.C, but not for the purpose you think. Before it could even make an excellent discovery of the God particle in 2012, it was rumored that scientists at C.E.R.N were using the H.F.C for something bigger and wilder. Scientists use the H.F.C to test any theoretical notions in particle physics, particularly those that seem deviant to the Standard Model. In physics, the Standard Model explains a super useful part of particle physics, but as a discipline, it is still incomplete. For instance, the Standard Model explains 3 of the 4 known fundamental forces: weak and strong interactions and electromagnetism. So far, it doesn't explain gravity. Practically, we also use the Standard Model to classify all of the known elementary particles. Scientists theorize that there are other particles we haven't discovered so far, and that's exactly where the LHC comes in. There are hundreds of important unanswered questions about particle physics. Now, you might have heard scientists throwing around the words dark matter and dark energy. Many scientists are also still researching why we have more matter in the universe than antimatter. These questions have haunted scientists for decades, and they're hoping for the LHC to find them conclusive answers no matter what the cost. So why do you think these questions are important? Well, if we are able to harness the mystery of dark matter and dark energy, we can take over the universe. Dark matter makes most of the galaxy clusters in the universe. Galaxies are organized on a grand scale the way they are because of dark matter. For years, scientists have theorized that we can use dark matter as the key ingredient for a revolutionary propulsion technology that can allow humans to reach speeds close to the speed of light. You heard that right. If we are able to acquire dark matter as fuel, then we are looking at some daunting possibilities becoming real opportunities, including travel to parallel universes and exploring inches of the universe that are dark and unknown. At the same time, dark energy is the very mysterious force that is enabling the expansion of our universe. Hundreds of years of scientific discovery haven't been able to explain that enigma. In fact, even the LHC hasn't touched base with this particular matter, at least not anything that we know of. All we know is that the LHC can reproduce the conditions that existed within a billionth of a second of the Big Bang. It is the only high-functioning equipment we have to relive our history from its very conception. If we are to study why a dark, mysterious force is enlarging our universe every second, what's a better way to go back in time and rediscover the very universe right after its birth? This is precisely what makes the LHC the apex of our scientific dreams, as well as a completely terrifying and potentially catastrophic nightmare. Opponents of the LHC have chastised C.E.R.N. for being adamant about finding discrepancies in the Standard Model by risking our planet's survival. There are scientific reports that theorize that the LHC might just create a black hole. If there's anything that Interstellar has taught us, we shouldn't really be messing with those energy-sucking, confusing space villains. But the questions on dark energy, dark matter, and antimatter bring us to the very issue that has taken a hit on C.E.R.N.'s reputation. There's speculation that C.E.R.N. scientists are trying to open up a portal to another dimension using the LHC. And as we said earlier, where there's smoke, there's fire. A ritual or a hoax. To be fair, the general public might not have taken a keen interest in the proton smasher if it weren't for the bizarre 2016 controversy that left the scientific community in sheer disbelief. Before the 2016 incident, there were several rumors about C.E.R.N. being super secretive. No matter what went down in the organization, its leadership would only resort to internal investigations or closed inquiries. While C.E.R.N. has shared technical reports of certain incidents that have happened in the LHC, including a dangerous helium leak, it hasn't been forthcoming with a lot of details, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. A lot of its projects and publications lack severe peer review mechanisms, which are prerequisites for any research to make its way into the world. But since its conception, C.E.R.N. has seen itself above the rules. This is why the world was shocked when a confusing and downright frightening video from C.E.R.N.'s Geneva campus was allegedly leaked onto the internet. The video had nothing to do with the so-called scientific work at the organization. Rather, we saw scientists clad in black robes, ready to indulge in a ritualistic sacrifice of a woman. The scientists were gathered around the main complex of the Geneva campus, the very home of the LHC, where they prepared for a mock occult sacrifice. According to The Guardian, the video includes the staged stabbing of a woman. It is filmed from the perspective of a secret viewer watching from a window above, who, as the ceremony reaches its climax, lets out a string of expletives and flees with the camera still running. In the video, we could also see that the sacrifice was taking place in front of the statue of a Hindu deity, Shiva, which is on display in C.E.R.N.'s main complex. For a hot minute, anyone who watched the video assumed that it was another well-edited footage that had gone viral, but the truth was even more terrifying. C.E.R.N was able to confirm that the video was indeed real and had been recorded in its main complex by the organization's scientists. However, the video was a mere prank meant to mock the faction that thinks C.E.R.N is a satanic cult trying to open a portal to hell or some equally terrifying dimension. Nothing about C.E.R.N's statements made sense. While the video seemed exaggerated, we couldn't conclusively tell if it wasn't staged or not. How come scientists were staging a sacrifice in a place that struggles to find any scientific legitimacy among the general public? Where were C.E.R.N's security forces when scientists were staging this weird prank? Once again, C.E.R.N went radio silent on news reporters and journalists asking these very important questions. It was much later when the organization's spokesperson issued a statement saying, C.E.R.N welcomes thousands of scientific users from all over the world every year, and sometimes some of them let their humor go too far. This is what happened on this occasion. However, C.E.R.N didn't release the names of the scientists involved in this horrible gimmick. The spokesperson clarified that they would conduct an internal investigation on the matter, but never really bothered to inform the public of their findings. Sounds bizarre, right? For years, C.E.R.N has tried to negate rumors of any illicit activities happening at the H.F.C, but the organization keeps tripping on its feet. We have no way to conclusively see if the ritual sacrifice was real or not, but it was clear that C.E.R.N might not be able to recover from this snafu. And well, it didn't. Earlier in the year, C.E.R.N was also blamed for a string of earthquakes in Italy in 2016 that took more than 200 lives. By November of the same year, there were multiple theories about C.E.R.N's controversial experiment called Awake causing the earthquakes. The Awake experiment was designed to explore the use of plasma to accelerate particles to high energies over a distance. As part of the experiment, scientists were sending a proton beam from the superproton synchrotron, SBS, into a plasma cell. Since C.E.R.N didn't have a clear record of sharing details about any previous experiments, the Italian media took the matter into their hands and created a very detailed investigation of C.E.R.N's Awake experiment. From a scientific perspective, Awake had no correlation to the earthquakes, but C.E.R.N's sketchy history of being secretive and silent about some of the biggest conspiracies didn't help the organization's case. This was also because C.E.R.N scientists knew that there would be media backlash over their weird experiment, but they didn't bother releasing a proper statement for months. This time around, Italy's leading newspaper Il Fatto Quotidiano published several stories about C.E.R.N's involvement in the earthquakes and bashed the organization for keeping secrets and lies from the very people it is meant to help. While there's no factual evidence that C.E.R.N's plasma experiment was the root cause of the earthquake, we have to remember that thousands of lives were lost, hundreds of homes were destroyed, and any institution refusing to take any responsibility in the matter was sure to take the heat. To make matters worse, the earth beneath our feet shook once more, figuratively this time, when in 2018 the U.S. military and naval forces captured a UFO hovering over the Pacific. While the news didn't surprise anyone because we have all accepted that aliens exist, things started to look suspicious for C.E.R.N once again. Researchers like Willamette Weekly and Stanford University's public publication, The Dish, found that there might be a correlation between the strange UFO sighting and C.E.R.N's experiments. Both reports noted that during the 2018 incident, the LHC had been operational for a longer period than usual and had been at the highest possible energy output recorded for the particle collider. C.E.R.N, on the other hand, was once again hesitant to respond to the UFO controversy. C.E.R.N's involvement in the UFO sighting is pretty far-fetched, but then again, a lot of strange occurrences are happening around the organization's time in power. One thing is certain, we do not understand the depths of the experiments and research conducted at the Geneva facility. More and more scientists are worried about the nature of experiments at the LHC and the general cost of conducting these bizarre tests. Now, we know that we shouldn't really pin earthquakes on C.E.R.N, but a ritualistic sacrifice that was once a prank might have been rooted in reality. No matter how secretive C.E.R.N gets about its operations, it is only a matter of time before it is buried under the conspiracy theories it gives birth to.
Have you ever been certain about a past event, only to discover you remembered it all wrong? Then you might have experienced what is known as the Mandela effect. This curious phenomenon is when a large group of people shares a false memory, an event that didn't actually occur or details that were incorrectly remembered. Intriguing, isn't it? The Mandela effect is named after the iconic figure Nelson Mandela. Here's where it gets mind-boggling. A significant number of people vividly recall Mandela dying in prison during the 80s. But in reality, Mandela was released from prison in 1990 and lived until 2013. Strangely enough, this collective misremembering isn't limited to a small group or a specific region. It's widespread, crossing international borders and cultural barriers. This is just one instance of the Mandela effect. There are countless more that might surprise you. Indeed, the Mandela effect extends far beyond historical events. It even creeps into our everyday life. An uncanny example of this phenomenon is how we remember the beloved children's book series. Many recall the Fuzzy family being called the Berenstain Bears, a memory that's persisted over the years. However, the reality is that the Bear family's name is spelled as the Berenstain Bears. A seemingly minor discrepancy, yet it's shared by a large number of people. The Monopoly Man, another iconic character, is often remembered with a monocle gleaming in his eye. It's an image many of us can picture clearly, but alas, it's a figment of our collective imagination. The Monopoly Man, in fact, has never had a monocle. It's a detail that's been misremembered, reinforcing the pervasive nature of the Mandela effect. Even in our favorite galaxy far, far away, the Mandela effect has left its mark. Star Wars, a franchise embraced by millions, has one of the most famous lines in cinematic history. "Luke, I am your father." It resonates with fans and non-fans alike, yet the actual line is, "No, I am your father." Despite this, the misquote has been perpetuated in pop culture, leading many to remember it incorrectly. These examples might seem trivial, but they raise a larger question. Why do so many of us remember things that never happened? Is it mere faulty memory, or is there a deeper, more complex explanation? Could it be a ripple effect from an alternate universe, or a glitch in our perceived reality? The Mandela effect, as elusive as it is, continues to baffle us, challenging our understanding of memory, reality, and our very perception. It's a puzzle that's both fascinating and slightly unnerving, reminding us of the enigma that is the human mind. The Mandela effect is a curious phenomenon, and several theories try to explain it. The first theory we'll delve into is the glitch in the matrix theory. This theory suggests that the Mandela effect is evidence of changes in our reality. It's as if someone has tinkered with the fabric of our universe, causing minor inconsistencies in our collective memory. The second theory is the parallel universes theory. This theory proposes that there are multiple universes, each slightly different from the other. These universes are said to exist side by side, and sometimes they might even overlap. The Mandela effect, according to this theory, is a result of us shifting between these parallel universes, hence the discrepancies in our memories. However, these theories, as intriguing as they are purely speculative and lack scientific backing. While these theories are fascinating, they remain in the realm of speculation. The Mandela effect is still a mystery that continues to baffle us. So, is the Mandela effect real? The answer isn't as straightforward as you might think. You see, there's a distinct lack of scientific evidence, either confirming or debunking the Mandela effect. This phenomenon is shrouded in mystery, making it a perfect topic for late-night discussions and captivating debates. Some may argue that the Mandela effect is just a result of our faulty memory. Others might suggest it's proof of alternate realities or a glitch in the matrix. But at the end of the day, the belief in the Mandela effect is deeply personal and subjective. It's an interpretation of our experiences, of the world around us, and of the memories we hold dear. There's no concrete right or wrong here, only what you perceive and choose to believe. The Mandela effect, real or not, certainly makes us question our memories and reality. What do you think about it? Do share your thoughts.
Money don't make the man, man make the money. You are who you are. So what you trying to tell me? All you got is time.